Okay, for those people that say they don't need insurance, is those people that are willing to pay, have the capital to pay out somebody to remediate, have the capital to now deal with the media, have the capital to pay lawyers, have the capital to actually lose money because you're going to lose money of that time frame because the insurance policy will cover those things. If you have the money and you're willing to just spend all that money out of pocket and never get it back, then you can say you don't need insurance. Insurance is there to help you. It's about cash flow. My policy is there to help my cash flow. It's now going to give me the ability when something happens not to pay out of pocket all these other incidentals that I'm not thinking about. Because not just remediation, there's reputation, there's legal fees, there's forensics, there's so much involved that you don't realize until something happens. There's this cost factor around it. And you mentioned about controls and why I laughed, because a lot of people I hear talk about controls alone. Those people are not clear on what controls are. Controls are things like MFA, antivirus. It's things, a piece of technology you can put in place to kind of dictate how people use something. That's a control. Here's the issue. You cannot bring a control to court. What courts want to see is a full plan and should proof that you've done due diligence. I say it all the time. Can you prove due diligence? Due diligence is, do I have policies in place saying, hey, this is how we use technology, this is how it's going to work? Do I have processes? This is how I implement those processes. And do I have controls? Three components. Lawyers love paperwork. It has to be something you can physically bring in that's signed off and go here. You cannot say I got an IT company. That's not something that can be brought to court. What I can do is bring to court my documentation that says, hey, I'm NIST compliant, ISO compliant. Here are my policies, here's my procedures. Employees have signed off on it, saying they understand how to safeguard data within my organization. This happened, I've done due diligence, you cannot blame me. That's the thing that protects you in court. The thing that people miss is they look at one thing and they think it's cybersecurity. It's a one-off. It's not. It's about how you operate, and without dealing with group of people that can consult with you and help you understand is how you function and operate, not about a bunch of tools you can buy. You'll always be missing the mark. The insurance policy is a strategic move. It's not a purchase.
Yeah, and there's compliance aspects of it, right? So when you have a cyber insurance policy, there's elements of that policy that require you to patch systems within a particular period of time. If you don't apply patches within 45 days, your coverage limit starts to erode, right? And what you thought you had of $1 million may drop down to 500,000 or 250 or 100,000. And so as you think about your overall risk management strategy as it relates to the business, and then more focused to IT and data and security, it's important to think of the total cost of that risk. And the total cost of that risk encompasses the controls that you put in place for loss control from a cybersecurity perspective, the controls that you have with your staff, as Wayne was mentioning, your compliance, certain standards. But then the largest part of the total cost of risk is uncovered claims, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to look very carefully at your cyber insurance policy to make sure that important endorsements are captured there.